Thanks, Ted. You look marvelous, as the line goes. I'm not even going to look up there but you look marvelous, and it is so astounding to be here every year, but particularly this year with this incredible synergy of housing leadership that was displayed first, but then the alignment with those of us that are in the service arena. And it really is true. I mean, it's trite, but it really is true. We would not be here and making these announcements without two things: without your success in making these projects work well in communities across New York, and second, the network's leadership in bringing these possibilities to fruition. So I have to say, congratulations. It's just phenomenal. I'm not going to, I'll say a little bit about the OMH part of this, but not too much, because I never know the details. But I will say that Maura Tashian is here somewhere. Where's Maura? So over here. So our housing director, who many of you know and have worked with, and she'll be talking more about the details anyway, and she'll actually have the numbers right. But just to stay at that level for just a minute, that specifically related to the MRT piece, there are two huge chunks of resources, maybe I should say three, that will come to our population through your assistance. There are two different allocations of 350 new scattered site supported housing slots that will be made available from the MRT allocation. One of those we're going to focus on Brooklyn because of the extraordinary needs in that borough, the challenges that are faced by the healthcare system there, our own challenges with our hospital there, Kingsborough, to resize that, have that function right. So we're going to focus a lot on Brooklyn. But then 350 also brand new scattered site housing units, support for them that will be across the rest of the state. But the other thing that I really have to mention, and Commissioner Towns has already sort of hit on this, but this is a specific area where Darrell's leadership and Ted's advocacy have been critical, and that is that a portion of this investment, and Jason has mentioned this already, a portion of this investment is going to go into capital development of new supported housing capacity. In our case, to be able to go forward in a more expeditious kind of way with development of new capacity related to New York 3. So not only are we investing healthcare savings, anticipated healthcare savings in supported housing, but we're also going to invest them in housing development. And both of those components are really critical. I have to mention also, while I'm here, the extent to which our renewed partnership with Commissioner Towns is working. We continue to try to figure out ways to put together both capital resources and ongoing housing vouchers, basically, in projects that are multiply financed that you're able to develop using a mixture of tax credits and our resources. That's an effort that has demonstrated a number of success, but we have a renewed commitment to it. And our commitment, particularly with Commissioner Towns' leadership, goes in the direction of really seeking projects that are not just mixed use, but are mixed use and, in the best cases, mixed income. We stand with you in NIMBY fights, but when you develop a project that is for people of varying incomes and varying occupations, as well as people who are coming out of institutions or coming off the streets, not only is there no reason to go against a NIMBY kind of fight, there is no reason to bring a NIMBY kind of fight, because this is housing that the entire community benefits from. We're also working with Darrell's folks on something else that has been rumored at in the past and has come to happen through the leadership we have at the national level, and that is reform of the Section 811 program, which has always been this little boutique HUD program. If you could survive it to get something done, it would be a great project, but sort of like, 202. How many people here have survived the 202 project? Now, most of those who survived it had to retire because it was so hard. 811 has been like that, but through leadership in the Congress and the support of our friends at HUD, the reform of 811 makes it into a more flexible program with permanent vouchers that come behind capital development, and critically at the federal level, just like we've recognized here, the need for Medicaid partnerships with supported housing. So this is going to be an ultra-competitive application that they've got out. The states are going to have to compete with. But if they don't fund, New York in this, you hear that, Sean? If they don't fund New York in this, it's going to be a big mistake. So, Dura, we're happy to work with you on that. I'm going to digress from my assignment to go off on one other thing that I have to mention that we're working on. While safe, decent, and affordable housing is the way to get off the streets or out of an institution and is the foundation for your recovery if you're dealing with mental health challenges or with addiction challenges, there's a second foundation for that work that we haven't done enough with yet. And I think of this in part because Kathleen just mentioned it, and that is the ability to get a job. You have led the way in this regard by employing tenants and giving them new hope and new life and new income in ways that, frankly, most treatment providers have lagged behind. You might even say that getting a job is more important than getting a place to live, because if you get a job, you can afford a place to live. And in the mental health world, we have done squat. 85% of the people, the adults we take care of, are unemployed. It is fundamentally unacceptable. So we've been banging our head away at this for a while and have put together a number of things, our PROS programs, benefits counseling, so that people can get the actual truth about going back to work and keeping their benefits. A 50% increase over the last couple of years in Medicaid buy-in, which allows people with disabilities to go back to work and keep Medicaid as their health insurance. And finally, building a new flexible information and job-finding system called NICE. I always get this wrong, but how's it spelled? N-Y-E-S-S. That is not a standalone system operated by the human service agencies, but is built on the Department of Labor's one-stop platform, meaning that anybody that uses that system has access to the jobs posted today by employers who are looking for, to hire right now, the ability to build a functional resume, and so on. This effort that we've been working on with our sister agencies here came to the attention of the federal government, which has got a problem in Social Security with the Social Security Disability Trust Fund. You hear that it talks about Medicare Trust Fund and the Social Security Trust Fund. When does the Disability Trust Fund run out of money? 2016. Because the unemployment of people with disabilities, coupled with this lousy economy, has made applications for disability employment go like this. So the feds are desperate for partnerships to get people back to work. And they have signed an agreement with us to create the first in the state, the first in the nation rather, as a matter of fact, the only in the nation, statewide ticket-to-work network in which we'll facilitate this. And what this means for you is if you sign up with us as an employment provider, you can get the milestone payments for this without having to go through all of that ticket-to-work BS. I mean, it's a wonderful program, but it's the only federal program I know that's actually more complicated than Medicaid. It's almost impossible to sign up to become an employment network yourself. So we've got that statewide agreement now, and we are looking, as we advance supported housing, as we redefine, as Jason has done with our support, supported housing as a foundation of healthcare reform. My God, this is phenomenal. To take this next step of helping our people, as many of you already do, to get a job that enables their life to proceed forward independent of us, of all things. Thanks a lot.